And so we are here, but I hope that today's panel is just as inspirational in the message that you were going to receive from Nellie. But I just want to also remind all of you, on your table is her book. And I hope that you enjoy that copy. And if you get to page 169, it's about me. I'm just saying, I don't know about all of you, but I'm future you're going to New York top bestseller book. That's how you go, better than everything. But what's important here is these two ladies are going to pour into you. They're amazing leaders, and all of you, if you see the QR code, please scan it and read their bios. It's very, very impressive. But what's important is I don't need to tell you, and you don't need to hear from me. You need to hear from them. But the thing that you need to know about them is they're wonderful humans. They're some of my favorite people. They said yes when I asked. They answer my calls, and most importantly, my texts. And every once in a while, there's wine involved. Okay, because we're grown. But what's important here is that we want to share a message of resilience. So ladies, let's get started because I've got a couple questions for you. So Cynthia, we're going to start with you. And the question is, when you think about resilience, what does it really mean to you? And how has that meaning changed over time?
Well, when I think about this question, I remember the phone call I got in January of 2025, and I thought it was a donor's name that I recognized, and it wasn't. And it was an individual who said, "We're coming for you, I've got a gun, and I'm going to shoot you." There have been some other phone calls before that saying, "You're coming for the CEO." Why? Because we serve immigrants. And I said, wow, the misinformation that's out there is just amazing to me. And, you know, we had to step back and say, all right, we've got to have some safety procedures in place. In my entire career, never had my life threatened. So this was kind of a new experience. But you can't let things break you. You cannot. And you cannot step away from mission and purpose. So we didn't. We beefed up security a little bit. We said we're staying true to our mission, vision, and values. We're going to continue serving the clients that we do with pride. And we just stay true to purpose and our values. And honestly, 20 years ago, maybe a phone call like that might have rattled me a little differently. But I have a little more experience under my belt. And so I will tell you, we're not afraid to do the hard work. I don't want you to be afraid to do the hard work, because that's what leaders are called to do. The hard work. We step into the gap, we do it, and we create impact.
So, I love that Southern California cred that you brought in, right? See, you guys are not just bad only in Texas, we're bad in California too. Imelda, what about you? I mean, this is a heavy question.
It is, and nothing like that has ever happened to me. So thank you for sharing that. But what has happened recently is, as I mentioned formally, I did decide that I was going to step down from really what had been my dream role. And not to give myself a lot of credit, I did it very, very, very well.
Oh, yes, you did.
However, it comes to that. It comes to us getting to a point where, going back to what you talked about, your values, they just were no longer aligned. And so the decision I had to make was, do I stay in the organization knowing that it is no longer aligned with who I am as a person? Because at the end of the day, what I bring is that, who I am. What you bring is that, who you are. And the decision was hard because my husband's retired, so I'm the breadwinner. Don't tell him. It has been me, but you know, it's that. And I have 4 granddaughters, and my daughter's in Hawaii, her husband's in the military, so I help out. So there's a lot of things and a lot of people that rely on me. But the decision at the end of the day is I can't give what I don't have. And what I didn't have was that passion or alignment with the organization. And so making that decision was tough, but I sit here today knowing it was the right decision. And I sit here today, those of you who know me know there's nothing quiet about me. But I will tell you that I have learned to quiet as much as I can, to truly listen to what it is I want to do next.
I love it. I love the strategy behind it, because when we're up against things, we don't always think about, okay, how am I going to do this? We just do it. We just react. It's wonderful that you took a step back and said, this is not good for me, and let me move in a direction that I need to move into. Real talk right there. I love it. And did you hear the layers of family? Aren't we all taking care of somebody else or something else, right? So the decisions that you need to make are not just about you. It's everyone that you love and everyone that you help. I love it. So I'm going to continue asking another question, and now that I'm going to come back to you. What do you think helps us keep going? It's not just getting through change, but growing from it.
I think for me is, there's a little bit, I come from a large family, so it's 5 girls, 1 boy.
Somos Latinos.
Yes, I guess. Both my parents, Mexican, they both passed. They were immigrants, right? And so for me, literally being the middle child is the oldest passed, so 3 older, 3 younger. For me, what keeps me going is that always knowing, and you can call it whatever you'd like. You can call it faith, you can call it your values, you can call it what makes you who you are, and that's unique. And for me, that's what it is. It's knowing that I'm doing it for the good of all concerned. Now, that doesn't mean you won't make tough decisions, and it doesn't mean that you're going to make everyone happy. That's not the case. But what it does mean for me is that I'm always very centered on what's important. And again, I say this all the time, I can't give what I don't have. And so if I don't have the balance, there's no way. No matter how much I love my husband, my son, my grandbaby, I can't. And so for me, that's what keeps me going, is knowing that there's something about me that impacts others. It sounds conceited when I say it out loud.
No, it sounds confident. I don't mean for it.
Not that way. But it is about that. You must be able to give to yourself in order to give to others.
Cynthia, how about you? What keeps you growing?
So many things. One, I think that having faith in yourself, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world around us all the time. And there are people that would shoot us down for whatever different reason. But having faith in yourself is really part of how you get through hard times. And let's face it, in this room, all of us have been through a hard time or are going through a hard time. We don't get out of this world without hard times. And what you have to remember is that it's not forever. You can survive it because you have in the past, or you know someone who has. So faith, like you said, I love Mother Teresa. And she has a saying that says, God never gives us anything we can't handle. But then she says, I just wish you didn't trust me so much.
Sometimes I wish you'd move on.
So I think faith in whatever your higher power is important. Faith in yourself, faith in God above who loves you and is merciful and gracious, your spirituality, and faith in the people around you, whether it's clients, sponsors, etc. Because no person can do it all by themselves. And I think learning to ask for help, being that vulnerable, saying, I'm going through this, I'm not sure what to do, can I just talk to you? Can I lean on you? Can I use your resources? Asking for help is really hard, but that's also how you get through hard times.
I think that having the courage, I think that's the word I'm hearing. That's the word that keeps coming. Having the courage to say something. Do you need help? But also, how do you ask for help and tell people what you need? So when people ask you for help, don't help them the way you think they need help. Please stand back. Let them tell you what they need. Okay. So I know I struggle with that. My family we lost my mother this year, just a few months ago, and it's been a journey. And so the family is reeling, and how do we manage that as a family now, as a family unit? And then the other parts too is how's everybody feeling about it? Because we were all doing so much leading up to it that I think it's now that we're starting to feel it. So if you heard me say, I'm not good, I mean it. I am not good. All right. And the reason is because I'm acknowledging it. So I appreciate the fact that you have that self-awareness, but the courage to get through it. Because even in the worst times, we learn just how strong we are, right? Yes. All right, ladies, one more question? Because we're on a schedule, right? I hope we're not keeping anybody from the dessert. Oh no, the nutcracker thing. That's what we're keeping. Sorry, everybody. All right. So, Cynthia, we're going to come to you. If you could offer one piece of advice to someone facing a major pivot or challenge right now, what would that be?
Well, the word tells us, fear not, for I'm with you. And so whether it's, God or your friends or your familia, somebody's there to walk this journey with you and learn to lean. That's number one. And number two, and I told this to younger professionals in my organization, find a mentor, because that helps, and no matter what age, right? We can always learn and grow. So finding someone to mentor you and to walk with you in this journey of life or the profession. And then the third piece of advice, because that's investing in yourself, right? And the third piece of advice is don't be afraid to step out and do something you've never done before.
Woo-hoo. I love it. Imelda, how about you?
I would say, because it's something that I consistently have to make sure I do, is quiet yourself. Quiet yourself as much as possible so that you understand what it is you're seeking. Because when you ask for help, the more that you're able to articulate that, you're in a better position to receive what you need. We don't do that sometimes, right? You go through a process of losing a role or a job, you immediately think you gotta run to the next. And there's reasons why, everybody has, but quiet yourself enough to understand what it is you're seeking, what it is you want help with, because it will come. But sometimes we're so busy, we don't hear it. So you have to learn that inner voice. I don't mean, if you've got more than one, let's talk.
I have a program for that.
It is extremely important that you learn who you are. We talk about that all the time. Just, I guess the term I come up with is quiet yourself, because I'm learning. I'm continuously, continuously learning that.
I quiet myself and then I end up taking a nap. But at first I was like, oh my God, because I was so, I should be doing something. But my body was saying, rest so you can be better. Rest so you can recharge. Rest so you can attack. Right? So I used to get uncomfortable with the quietness and that it would lead to sleep. And so feel good with that. Don't deprive yourself of what your body's needing. But can we shut off the monkeys in our heads telling us that we need to be doing something? And then can we also shut the people up who are giving us advice that we didn't ask for? Is this real talk?
Yes. But I have to interrupt you there because my son is with me. Okay, so I know she just said
Okay,
advice.
close your ears.
It's not going to happen.
No, but the other thing is too, is my children are in the room, they get unsolicited advice. Because I'm their Puerto Rican mother. That's what we do, right? But the reality of it is that one of the things that I just want to the word courage came up earlier, is that you know what you need. You know what you want. But yet when you share it with somebody, they say no, or they shut you down. But I want to remind you of what you wanted and what you needed, and you weren't asking for permission, you were just telling them. The problem that we have is that we listen to their no, and we get stuck on their no, and then we lose the courage to step forward for ourselves. So as we talk about the story of resilience, is having the courage to stand up for you. And our voices more than ever. If somebody said earlier conceited, I said confident. Change those adjectives to empower you, not to take from you. That is the message of resilience. Ladies, before we close this session out, can you believe we've been up here 20 minutes? We've entertained you. Right? Were you inspired? Yes. Okay, good. Any closing comments, anything that came up in your head as we were having this discussion? Anything else that you would like to share before we close out?
This is a quote I say to myself actually frequently. Hard times don't last, but tough people do. So I want to be one of those women that's resilient and tough.
Let me that to listen to yourself is only going to make you a better listener for others. And when someone helps you, never forget that and pay it forward. And we have to remember that, always.
Two things for me on the listening part. You're not listening, waiting for them to be quiet so you can say something. You hear me? You're listening because you want to know how you can help them and be with them, not for them to be quiet so you can talk, okay? There's an old Greek quote, very smart man, thousands of years ago said, know thyself. So remember, you are resilient. Your neighbor told you that. So ladies, thank you. We have a gift for our lady panelists. 1 second, please. So, you know, there's a thing is we deserve our flores en vida. And for those who don't speak Spanish, we deserve our flowers in life. Yes.